Welcome to Table for One. I'm the narrator, and in today's video, I'll be doing a solo playthrough of Spirit Island. And in this solo playthrough, I'll be playing as Fractured Days Split the Sky, and I'll be using the adversary, the Kingdom of Brandenburg-Prussia, and I'll also play the scenario, Ward the Shores. Let's get rolling. Alright, so I am set up to play a solo game of Spirit Island. I am playing as Fractured Days Split the Sky today. This is one of my very favorite spirits, but I should say it's mostly been a while since I've played Spirit Island, so that's why I decided to combine a high complexity spirit with an adversary and a scenario. That all seemed like the right thing to do when it's been a while since I've played. So I am going to be kind of rusty. I did play this exact same setup yesterday. I don't use this word very often, or I try not to, but the ending, it was a epic victory. It was such a comeback. It was incredible. And then I went and edited it, and I realized that the amazing ending was due to a complete misreading of my event card, and I couldn't bring myself to post the video. It was too embarrassing that I did it wrong. So I'm going to try and play this again, and I really don't mind because I like Spirit Island. I really like Fractured Days Split the Sky, so it's a fun opportunity to get this on the channel. So let's talk about some of this. I've got Kingdom of Brandenburg-Prussia, who I think I've played on the channel before. I like this particular adversary. I don't generally like adversaries. I don't play at them very often, but I like this one because it's pretty low overhead, especially at the lower levels. And since I'm combining with a scenario today, I didn't want to have to worry about a lot of extra stuff. So I'm only doing level 2, not super high. So that means during setup, I added a town to land 3. And then I took one of the, I'll just show you here, in the invader deck, after the stage 1 cards, there's a stage 3 card, and then the 2s, and then the rest of the 3s. So that is how that deck is set up. Other than that, there's no other rules for Brandenburg-Prussia except for the stage 2 escalations. Whenever we get the escalation, there is the land rush rule. On each board with a town or city, add one town to a land without a town. So I think I can manage that. For Fractured Days Split the Sky, I've got my 3 presents on the board, one in the lowest numbered town with 1 Dahan, or one in the lowest numbered land with only 1 Dahan, and 2 in the highest numbered land without a Dahan. And then I am playing a 1-player game, so I have 6 major powers here in the bottom row and 6 minor powers in the top row, and that is my Days That Never Were cards. We'll talk more about that when I flip this board over. And because this is a 1 board game, I gain 1 time because there's only 1 island board. So we'll talk about time as well, but I'm going to take this and slide it aside. This is my 1 time. And you know what? We'll figure it out now. We'll flip this over so I can start putting presents on my tracks. And so Fractured Days Split the Sky, again, one of my favorite spirits, really like it. A little bit unwieldy sometimes, but pretty cool. And I'm going to place this one either here or here. I'll place it here. And then this is my time. My time goes here. So one of the things the spirit can do is it can gain time. And when it gains time, it takes a presence from its tracks and it moves it over to here. And then it can also spend time. So when it spends time, it takes a presence from here and adds it to the tracks. So some of these unique power cards here will have me have me spending time to gain certain effects. And then in my growth options here, on my growth 1 option where I reclaim cards, I can gain up to 2 time. On the second growth option, I get to make this decision twice, either gain 1 time or gain 2 extra card plays. And then on my third growth option, I get to make the choice 3 times to either gain 1 time or gain 2 energy. So that's pretty interesting. And then each of these has an element, so I'm just adding markers to help me keep track of which element that I choose with each growth option. The elements I'm kind of going for in general are air, moon, and sun. And then I've got this Days That Never Were tableau up here. Anytime I take growth option 3, I may gain 1 power card from Days That Never Were. So that's kind of cool that I can see what's up there and plan around it. Whenever I gain a power card through a normal means, such as through my second growth option here, gain a power card, go ahead and gain one card, but then of the cards that I did not select, I may add one up here to Days That Never Were. So that's pretty cool too. And then we'll take a look at some of these unique power cards as I play. But Blur the Arc of Years is one of my very favorite cards in the game. Absolute Stasis is really cool too. I don't use Poor Time Sideways very often. The Past Returns again can be useful sometimes. And then let's look at this scenario, Ward the Shores. So it says once per turn, each spirit may play a power card face down. So when a power card is played face down, it loses its major or minor or unique status. It loses all of its elements, but it still counts as one played card towards your played card limits. And when a card is played down, it counts as a slow power card, and the range is 0 from a sacred site. Now, if you have other powers or abilities that can affect this, like play a slow card fast or add, +1 range, that applies to this. You can still apply it to this face down card. And the cost of playing that card is 0 energy. But when it comes time to resolve the card, the effect is you select your target land, and in that land you pay 2 energy per blight there and 2 energy per town or city. And after that energy is paid, then you add a warding pattern. And that's what these generic tokens are here. These are warding patterns. So once a warding pattern is placed, it grants Defend 3 in its land. And when a blight is added to a land with a warding pattern, the warding pattern is removed. It's lost. So you get 4 warding patterns per player. You may never have more than that, but it says if you run out of tokens, you can reuse destroyed or already placed ones. And then this is pretty interesting. Level 2 Brandenburg-Prussia, we just have a normal fear deck, so it's 3 cards, 3 cards, 3 cards. But this says, after making the fear deck, put all remaining fear cards on the bottom. If they run out, reshuffle the deck. So basically, we have an infinite stack of fear cards. So if I were to somehow run out of fear cards here, I'll go grab my stack. I've got like 60 more fear cards or something like that, and we'll continue to work through them. But I don't see running out of fear cards. And then for victory conditions, the normal fear-based victory is not available. Instead, we have to be at terror level 2 or higher, and we need to have a warding pattern in all coastal lands. So this will be kind of interesting. We're going to focus really hard on the coast. I'm not so much concerned with inland. And I just need to get warding patterns down there, which may cost some energy, and then it's important to not blight in those lands after I get the warding patterns down. So I've got to get 3 of them down and get to terror level 2. And then we also have this Stage 3 Surge. During Stage 3, Explore adds 1 town in addition to the usual Explorer. And so what I like to do is I like to use, when I'm playing with Fractured Days Split the Sky, I like to use Blur the Arc of Years to get a bunch of Dahan down. So I think I'm going to try and get a lot of Dahan in these coastal lands so that they can defend themselves and then potentially fight off any ravages as well, and maybe damage some towns and cities so that I can generate some fear. I think I'm going to kind of let the inlands go, honestly. So let's finish setting up here. I need to reveal a stage 1 card, and we're going to explore in the jungles. So here's the Explorer for land 2 and for land 5. I am playing on board F here. So as a reminder, the cards here sort of in my hand, I'll be playing my cards. Played cards will be here to the right of my board. Probably bring this a little bit lower, and I'll keep a discard pile maybe up here somewhere. All right, so with that, I think we are finally ready to get started. And I think I'd like to start with growth option 2. So I'm going to gain this moon, and now I can gain a power card. And so here's the top 4 cards from the minor power deck. I'm going for a minor power. So we've got from left to right, Sky Stretches to Shore, Razor Sharp Undergrowth, Skies Herald, the Season of Return, and Land of Haunts and Embers. And there's a couple good options here, but I really like Sky Stretches to Shore for this situation. So you can target yourself, and it's fast power. The target spirit may use a slow power as if it were fast. That's kind of what I was talking about. So I can take this slow power and make it fast, or I could do it vice versa. And target spirit gains +3 range for targeting coastal lands only. That's actually great, because then I can get 1 sacred site on the coast and target all of the coastal lands. Or not even, I've got this 1 sacred site, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. From here, I could target all the coastal lands instead of range 0. So that's pretty incredible. I want that. And now I can add one of these cards to Days That Never Were. And I think I'm going to add this one. I actually used this the last time I played, and it was pretty helpful, but it was also a little bit niche. So I'm not sure that would be the first thing I would take out of that tableau. but the other 2 cards just get discarded. And now I can add a presence at range 2, and I think I'm going to take it off of my top track. And where do I want to be? I want to be in these sands here at land 1. And now twice I get to either gain a time or gain 2 card plays. And I think I'll do one of each. I'm going to gain 1 time, and then I'm going to have 2 more card plays. So instead of 1, I could play up to 3 cards. And so now I gain energy. So I gain 2. So here we go. 1, 2 energy. And now I can play up to 3 cards. And here's what I'm going to do. This is going to be cool. I want to play Blur the Arc of Years because I love it. I'm going to play Sky Stretches to Shore. And for the 3rd card, I'm going to take Pour Time Sideways and play it upside down. I'm going to immediately try and ward the shores. So this costs 1 energy and 1 energy. Here's my 1, 2 energy, so we pay it. And now we are in the fast phase. And so I'm going to start with Sky Stretches to Shore, target myself. So I can play a slow power as if it were fast, and I gain +3 range when I'm targeting coastal lands. So I'm going to play this slow power fast. The range is normally 0 from a sacred site, but I get +3 range if I target the coast. So I'm going to target land 1. So now I need to pay 2 energy per blight in that land. There's none. And 2 energy per town and city. There's none. So I don't need to pay any energy, and I can add a warding pattern. So that's incredibly fast. I was not anticipating that. That's pretty cool. All right, so I've got my warding pattern down. So both of these cards are played. And then I'm realizing I've got 2 moons, 2 suns, and 2 air. So what does that get me? That gets me 2 sun, 2 moon. And that gets me 1 sun, 2 moon, 2 air. Okay, so I get this and this. Oh, cool. Yeah, I'm gonna use this. All right, next I'm gonna play Blur the Arc of Years, and I'm going to target land 1. So it's a fast power range 1, target land any. If no Dahan or invaders are present, then remove a blight. Well, there's Dahan there. If invaders are present, they build, then ravage. There's no invaders there, so don't have to worry about that. And then if Dahan are present, add 1 Dahan and push up to 2 Dahan. So let's add a Dahan and push up to 2 Dahan. I'm going to push him into here. Or is that what I want to do? No, I'm going to push him into here. Okay. Then at the bottom, you may repeat this power once in the same land by spending 1 time. So let's do that. Let's spend a time. So I'm going to return a time to one of my tracks, and I repeat that power here. So again, it's just this 3rd part that applies. If Dahan are present, add a Dahan, push up to 2 Dahan. And I'm going to add a Dahan, and I'm just going to leave the 2 Dahan here. I'm not going to push any this 2nd time. So now that card is played. And then I have this fast power, Slip the Flow of Time. I've got the 2nd tier here. Target spirit, I'm going to target myself, may reclaim 1 power card from their discarded or played cards. If they reclaim a card from play, they lose its elements. I'm going to take Blur the Arc of Years back. Let's get that back into my hand. And by doing that, I now have 1 moon, 1 sun, 1 air. I no longer have Visions of a Shifting Future. That's okay. I'm going to remove the token. So that is it. That's it for the fast phase. I don't have any other powers I can do, but that was a really cool first turn. And now we go to the invader phase. So we don't have a blighted island effect. And then this is turn 1, so we don't gain an event, but we burn the first card. This one happens to be either search for unclaimed land or widespread hunting. So this just gets discarded. And then I have no earned fear cards yet. So we go to the invader step. They do not ravage, but they build in the jungles. So we're going to get 1 town here. And we're going to remove the disease token here. And now we explore, we don't, the invaders do, in the wetlands. And I'm actually kind of happy to see that. The one thing I did not want to see was mountains, because I think I'd like to play this again to remove that blight. Although, you know what? I think this is going to blight. I could play it here and get even more Dahan. That would be even better. So, okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. I've explored the wetlands, and now I can shift these cards. So next round, they're going to ravage in the jungle, build in the wetlands. And now we go to the slow phase, and I don't have any slow unplayed powers. I just have this 1 slow card that I played as fast. So now time passes. We're going to put these in the discard. We can return this token here. We don't have any injured Dahan or invaders to heal on the board. So now we go into the next round. And so I need to decide what growth option I want. I'm not ready to reclaim yet. It's either going to be growth option 2 or 3. And 2 is really good. I'd like to get another power card and add a presence to the board. But if I take growth option 3, I can't add a presence. I can move one, but then I can gain a power card from days that never were. And that is very tempting as well. So yeah, you know what? I'm going to take growth option 3. So I gain 1 sun element, and I can move a presence up to range 4. I don't know that I really want to do that. Oh, you know what? Maybe I do. I'm going to take 1 out of land 8 and put it in land 1. I think that's what I want to do right now. And then I'm going to gain a card from Days That Never Were. And I really want Nature's Resilience, but I like Call to Guard too. You know, let's take Call to Guard. That could be really useful. Although Nature's Resilience is very high on my list. So I gain that card, and now 3 times I get to make the choice. Do I want 1 time, or do I want to gain 2 energy? So if I go all the way one way or the other, I can gain up to 3 time or 6 energy. And I think in this case, I'm going to take 3 time. I'm going to take it all from the bottom track, so that way I can get an additional card play. So I've got a lot of time now, and so now I gain 2 energy. There we go, 1, 2, and now I can play up to 2 power cards. And I think I would like to play Blur the Arc of Years again and pair it with Call to Guard. I think that could be a really strong combination. And when I do that, it looks like I have 1, 2, 3 suns, a moon, and 2 air. What does that get me? 3 suns and 2 air gets me this. I only have 1 moon. So that's it, just this one. What is that? Target spirit may play a power card by paying its cost. Oh, you can get another card play. Oh, I might do that. This is very interesting playthrough so far. All right, but for now, I need to pay 1 energy for Blur the Arc of Years, and now we are in the fast phase. And so I'm going to play Blur the Arc of Years, and I'm going to play it in land 1. So again, the only relevant portion is if Dahan are present, add 1 Dahan and push up to 2 Dahan. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to add 1 Dahan and push up to 2, and I'm going to push these into land 2. Then I'm going to spend 1 time. Where do I want to put this? Put it on the bottom track. Yeah, I'll put it on the bottom track. And, man, that makes me nervous. I put it on the bottom track and I can repeat it in the same land. So we're going to have the same outcome. I added Dahan and I can push up to 2 Dahan. And I think I will push them both. So now I've got 4 Dahan in land 2. That's pretty cool. Then I'm going to play Call to Guard. That's range 1. I'm going to target land 2. So I can target any land. It's fast. Gather up to 1 Dahan. And I will. I'll gather this one from land 3 into land 2. Then, if Dahan are present, either defend 1 per Dahan, or after invaders are added or moved to target land, 1 damage to each added or moved invader. I'm going to do the first one. Defend 1 per Dahan. So now I am defending 5 in land 2. That's incredible. And finally, I'm going to use Slip the Flow of Time. Target spirit may play a power card by paying its cost. I'm going to take this one and play it upside down. So its cost is 0 for Ward the Shores. I'm playing this card. And that is it for the fast phase. Man, this is going to be so cool. So now we go to the invader phase. There's no Blighted Island cards, so now we need an event. So we get this one. We have a healthy island, so we're going to have provincial seat. On each board, choose a land with a city and build there. And, you know, that's not so bad. I'm going to pick land number 2 and build a town. I think that's just fine with me. And then beasts chase off homesteaders. On each board, push up to 2 explorers or 1 town from a land with beasts. And that's pretty great too. Let's push this explorer out of land 7 into land 8. And now that's going to prevent a build. That's fantastic. And finally, rally to the defense of distant kin. On each board, gather 1 Dahan into a land with Dahan. In that land, defend 1 per Dahan. Everything is coming up, narrator. I'm going to gather 1 Dahan from land 6 into land 5, and now we are defending 4 in that land. 1 per Dahan. Wow. Okay. Thank you, event card. And now I have no earned fear cards, so we go to the invader step. We're going to ravage in the jungle. So in this jungle, they're doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 damage. I'm defending 5, so that's only 1 damage in total. So we're going to have 1 injured Dahan, but no blight. The Dahan counterattack with 10 damage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. More than enough. So that's going to generate 1, 2, 3 fear. We needed that. And get this out of here. That is it for that ravage. Now in this land, the invaders are going to do 1, 2, 3 damage, but I am again defending 1 per Dahan, so I'm defending 4. So no damage here, and the Dahan counterattack and clear this land, generating 1 more fear. That is my first fear card. Oops, don't look at it. There's my earned fear card. And that was a pretty great ravage. Next, we're going to build in the wetlands. And that is only land 3 here. So I'm going to add a city. And I don't really hate that either, because judging off what I just did, I can probably get a ton of Dahan down here, counterattack, generate some fear, which I'm going to need to get to terror level 2. And I can be pretty close to getting wards in both of these lands. Speaking of wards, I made a mistake earlier, and I'm just going to live with it. I'll talk about it when I get there. So now we've done our ravage and our build. We need to explore, and we're exploring the sands. Alrighty, so an explorer in land 1 and an explorer in land 8. Now we can shift these cards down, and we go to the slow phase. This is where my mistake was. I played this card, but I cannot do a ward anywhere because it needs to be range 0 from a sacred site, and the only sacred site I have is in land 1, which already has a ward pattern. And I'm remembering now in the growth phase, I moved a presence from land 8 to land 1 to make a sacred site, because I was thinking I was going to grab Nature's Resilience, and you need to be range 1 from a sacred site, so I was going to use that to target land 5 to defend it. I didn't end up doing that. I didn't take that card. If I realized I was going to take this card and trigger this, I would have instead moved that presence from here to here, and then I could have used this ward now in the slow phase. So then again, I wouldn't have the energy for it anyway, so it doesn't matter. Just a thought that I had, but this is where we are. So I have no other slow powers, so we're going to go to the time passes phase. I'm going to take all these markers back, and I'm going to heal this one injured Dahan. Take the event card off the table, and then these cards all go in the discard. All right, and this token returns here, and we are ready for the next round, and we're in the growth phase. And I think I'm taking growth option 1. I need to reclaim, so I gain all these cards back to my hand, and I can gain up to 2 time. So I think I'll take one off each of these tracks just to maximize as best I can. I've got 5 time here to spend. Here's 1 energy. Now I gain 2 more energy, and I can play up to 2 cards. And you know what? I'm going to play Blur the Arc of Years and Call to Guard again. What a potent combination these are. These are really cool. So now I've got 2 sun, 3 air, and a moon. And unfortunately, that does not unlock any of my innates. I need to pay 1 energy in total for Blur the Arc of Years. And now we're in the fast phase. So I am going to target land 2 with Blur the Arc of Years. And I'm going to add a Dahan and then push up to 2. And I'll push him into land 3. And then I will repeat this by spending a time. And I can add another Dahan, push up to 2. Again, I'll push into land 3. That works out pretty nicely. And then Call to Guard. I will target land 3. I can gather up to 1 Dahan. So I've got 5 now. And then again, I'm going to defend 1 per Dahan. Now again, I'm going to clear this land, get a bunch of fear for it, which is great. And then I'll be in a good position to start adding some wards, I think. Just need to get some more presence down or use Sky Stretches to Shore. But that's it for the fast phase. So we still don't have a Blighted Island effect. We need to draw the next event card. And we have Hardworking Settlers. This one says, the latest round of settlers are regrettably diligent, focused, and curious. You may act cautiously in the background or create unnerving distractions. So if we act cautiously in the background, then on each board, push up to 2 Dahan, add 1 town to a land without a town, and immediately ravage in the land with the most invaders that matches a ravage card. Honestly, that all sounds pretty good to me. Create unnerving distraction says, at the cost of piquing their interest, ravage cards skip up to 1 matching land on each board. Players choose which. 1 fear per player, and remove the bottommost stage 2 and stage 3 cards in the invader deck from the game. I think I've got a lot more interest in this top one, so I'm going to act cautiously in the background. So on each board, push up to 2 Dahan. I really like that. I'm going to push this lone Dahan from the mountains into the sands here, land 1, and then push one of these Dahan into the sands here. So that's going to set us up for a counterattack on the next turn. And this land is already defended 3, so that's great. And we need to add a town to a land without a town. So I think I'm going to put one here in land 1, actually. Just planning ahead, I'll probably grab that defense card right up there on next turn and I'll be okay. And now immediately ravage the land with the most invaders that matches a ravage card. So of the wetlands, this one's empty. This one has the most invaders. We're ravaging now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 damage. I am defending 1 per Dahan, so defending 5. So 1 damage there. This Dahan gets injured, but there's no blight. The Dahan counterattack with 10 damage. And so I generate 1, 2, 3 more fear. That's very helpful. That land is clear. All we really did was accelerate that ravage. I'm pretty okay with it. Now, beasts prey on the injured. This turn, beasts also count as bad lands, and on each board, destroy a damaged invader in a land with beasts. Land 7 has beasts, but there are no damaged invaders there, so we can get rid of this card because the beasts applying as bad lands won't have any effect the rest of this round. So now that the event's over, we go to earned fear cards. We've got one of those. We're at Terra level 1. Each town destroys 1 explorer in its land. Okay, great. So we lose this explorer here and this explorer here. I don't mind that. And now we go here to the invasion part. So we're going to ravage in the wetlands. Both of those are now empty. We're going to build in the sands, and that's going to give us a city in land 1 and a city in land 8. Try and spread this stuff out a little bit so you can kind of differentiate what the pieces are. And we're going to explore in 2 places, the sands and the wetlands. I'm not as thrilled with that. So that's an explorer here, an explorer here. We're just really returning the 2 that we just destroyed in the sands, and an explorer here in land 7 as well. And now we can shift these cards down, and we go to the slow phase, but I don't have any slow powers, so we're going to go straight into time passes. Man, look at that. Wetlands, sand, wetlands, and sand. That's a little painful, but we can remove these tokens, heal this injured Dahan, and come back. These cards are discarded, return this token, and we are now in the next round in the growth phase. And I'm going to take growth option 3, and I can move a presence, range 4. I'm going to take this one out of land 8 and move it here to land 3, because that's going to ravage. I'm not going to do anything about it. Now at least I don't lose that presence. And now I can gain a card from Days That Never Were, and I want this one now. Nature's Resilience. And now 3 times I can decide to either gain 1 time or gain 2 energy. I'm going to gain a time and gain a time and then gain 2 energy. So here we go. 1, 2. Now, after growth, I gain 2 energy for my track. Very nice. And now I have 3 card plays. So I'm going to play, what am I going to play here? I'm going to play Nature's Resilience. And I'm going to play Sky Stretches to Shore. And then I'm going to play Poor Time Sideways face down. I'm surprised I haven't played Absolute Stasis yet. I really like that card. I just been playing other stuff. But here we go. It's going to cost me 2 energy. 1, 2. So this is gone. And element-wise, I have 2 sun and 1 air. That is not going to unlock anything. But I'm going to start with Nature's Resilience. Range 1 from a sacred site. Defend 6. I'm going to defend 6 in land 1 here, which already has defend 3 from that ward pattern. So that's a total of defend 9 in that land. So I'm pretty well set. And then I'm going to target myself with Sky Stretches to Shore. So I can play Slow Power Fast and target a land at range 3 from what the card says, as long as I'm targeting coastal lands. So I'm going to use this power. I'm going to treat it as fast, and now I get an extra 3 range if I need it. But I'm going to target land 3, which is a sacred site, so I don't need the range. I need to pay 2 energy per blight in town and city in that land. That land has none of those things, so I need to pay 0 energy, and now I can add a warding pattern. So now I've got 2 of my 3 coastal warding patterns. That's another defend 3 in that land, which is really useful. That means it's going to take care of itself after this build. So over the next couple of ravages, both of these are going to ravage a couple of times. I'm going to take out some towns. I'll take out that city as well, generate some fear, hopefully get me into Terra level 2. And then if the jungles stay clear, I should be able to pretty easily get another warding pattern there and win. So far, this is going better than my last playthrough, I'll say that. So those are all my fast abilities. Now we go to the invader phase, starting with Blighted Island effects. Still none of those. So we draw an event card. We're on a healthy island, so we have Sprawl Contained by the Wild. On each board, add 1 wilds to a land without invaders. Then build in the land with the most towns or cities, minimum 1. So add a wilds to a land without invaders. I want that to be here, land 2. Let's keep the invaders out of there so I can easily get a warding pattern down. Then build in the land with the most towns or cities. That's either got to be land 1 or land 8 because they both have a town and a city. And I think I'm going to do that in land 8. That land's kind of falling apart anyway, and I don't really care about it. And I've kind of already mapped out what I want to happen with land 1, so I'm going to leave it alone. Now we have Explorer's Blunder. On each board, destroy 2 explorers among lands with beasts. Excellent. So this land is not going to build now. I don't have to worry about land 7. And then lay ambushes. During Ravage, Dahan deal damage at the same time as invaders. I don't know if that's really going to matter, but I'll put that here as a reminder. So that was the event. We don't have any earned fear cards this time, so now we go to the invader steps. We're going to Ravage in the Sands. So let's start with land 8. That's easy. There's a ton of damage and it blights. Okay. That was 9 damage for anybody counting. If we look at land 1, so the invaders are going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 damage. And then I am defending 6, 7, 8, 9, so no damage. And simultaneously, the Dahan are going to deal 4 damage back. So yeah, this really didn't have any effect, but for the 4 damage, I'm going to take out the city and an explorer. So that city is 2 fear. Here's 1, earn a fear card, and 2 fear. Okay, these are gone. And now we're going to build in the sands and the wetlands. So in each of these sands, we are getting a city. So this goes here, this goes here. I could have taken out this town and the explorer and left the city, but then the city would have built the town. It would have got me to the same point, so it didn't really matter. We've got a city there. We're not going to build in land 7 because it's empty, and we're going to put a town here in land 3. So here is the town. Okay, now we're going to explore the wetlands, and we're going to have an escalation. That was not a super helpful draw. I didn't want that one extra thing there. I guess it's not that big a deal. So what is our escalation? On each board with towns or cities, which is certainly going to be this board, add a town to a land without a town. So sure, let's put one back here in land 6. I don't think that really matters to me. Now we can slide all these down. Just look at these. We had sand, wetlands, sand, sand and wetlands, wetlands. In some ways that's difficult, and in some ways it helps. Now we go to the slow phase, but I don't have any slow stuff to do because I did this fast. So that is it for this round. We can start clearing the tokens. There's no damage to heal. I can return this reminder. These cards all get discarded. And I am back to the growth phase. And I'm going to take growth option 1 and reclaim. I think I'm going to win this round. So I get these cards here. I don't need this event card anymore. I can discard it. So I gain up to 2 time. I might as well take it, but it doesn't have any real effect. And now I've got up to 3 card plays, and I gain 2 more energy. So here's the energy. Let's take a look. When they ravage in the sands and wetlands, this will blight and cascade, which will flip the card. Important to know. This one, right now I'm defending 3 and they're doing 5. So I need to defend at least 1 more there. More than that would be better. 1, 2, 3, 4 damage here. And I'm defending 3, so that's kind of okay. That's not going to blight. And what do I need to get to terror level 2? I need 3 more fear, just these. There's only 1 card left. So 3 more fear will get me to terror level 2. So if I can put a ward down quickly in the fast phase, which I can with Sky Stretches to Shore, and if I can defend here and then choose the order of the Ravages, I think I can win before even flipping the Blight card. So I'm going to play Sky Stretches to Shore, and I'll also add Nature's Resilience. I think that's the way to go. And then I'll take Poor Time Sideways and play it upside down as my 3rd card. Okay, I need to pay 1, 2 energy, so here's 2 energy. What have I got? 1 sun and 2 air. Doing terrible with elements this game. That's too bad because these innates are really cool when you can trigger them more consistently. But I'll start with Sky Stretches to Shore, target myself. I'm going to do this power fast, and I get extra range. So as long as I target the coast. So I'm going to target this coastal land at range 1. So I've got my extra range there. In this land, there's no blight, there are no towns, no cities, so I don't need to pay any extra energy, and I get my 3rd warding pattern in the coast. So that's pretty good. And so now I just need to get to terror level 2. Oh no, but I made a boo-boo like 3 turns ago. This was a stage 3 card, and I didn't do this stage 3 surge, where Explorer adds a town in addition to the usual Explorer. Oh god, what a pain to rewind this is going to be. All right, so when we explored here, we had just ravaged and then built And then we explored, and that was, sands and wetlands. Oh, this is going to be terrible to try and unwind. Okay. So I remember these two lands had just had their explorers removed and I had added them back. So they would have gotten an additional town, and we would have gotten an additional town here and here too. Oh man, let's see if I can recreate this. Okay, then we would have advanced the cards. That would have gone away. This would have slid. This would have slid. And then last turn, we ravaged in the sands. What would that ravage have looked like? It was a city, a town, and an explorer, and I had 9 defend. I remember that. It was 6 plus 3. It was this 6 plus that 3. So they would have done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I still would have defended. It wouldn't have blighted. My Dahan would have done 4 damage. Back, I would have taken out, like I said, a town and a city and an explorer. That's what I did. It would have had 2 towns remaining, and then when it built, it would have added this city. So it should look like this. And then if we do the same sort of calculation here, it still would have blighted. And then when they would have still had a town, it would have been like that. And then they still would have added a city. Okay, that's unaffected. Here, we had the event card that removed this explorer. But then on the build, we would have added a city. So we've got a city there, and now we've explored the wetlands. So we add another explorer back. This should look like this. Finally, we go to this land. So we hadn't explored it yet, but it should have had an extra town. It didn't ravage, but when it built, it would have built a city. So we get a city there now, and then they explored it. Oh boy. Okay, so that land's in worse shape. I'm really sorry about that. I'm glad I eventually noticed it, but would have been way easier to notice it at the time. And then these would have shifted down. Okay, we're in the right place now, but it is not a happy place. And so when I got this escalation, the stage 2 escalation, I still could have put the town in land 6, and I will leave it there. I'm still fine with that. But okay, I've got more stuff going on than I realized. Unfortunately, I've already played this and used this, so all I've got left to do is this card, and I'm going to stick with my original plan. I am going to do a defend. Well, I'll defend this wetlands, this land 3 instead. Let's defend that one. Better prospects now. So, okay, hopefully that all made sense. I've got nothing else to trigger here. It's the end of the fast phase. We go to the invader phase. I think this is where I'm going to win. We don't have a blighted island effect, so now we grab the event card, and let's see if this event ruins me. We're still in terror level 1, investigation of dangers. On each board, add 1 explorer to a land without invaders or Dahan. Only got one option there. That is land 4. Okay, now prey on the unwary. Each beast destroys 1 explorer. Okay. Add 1 beast on a board without 1. All right, so we got nothing else to do there. And then rouse the spirits. Each spirit with at least 3 Dahan among all its lands. I do have that. May use a slow power now instead of later. Well, I don't have any unused slow power, so that is the end of that event card. But I think I am going to make it. So now we go to earned fear cards. I've got one of those. We're still in terror level 1. Each player removes 1 explorer or town from a land with 2 or more Dahan. Well, let's grab this town back here. It doesn't really do much for me either way, but let's grab it. That was removed, not destroyed. And that's it for fear cards. So now we're going to ravage in the wetlands and the sands. And I can choose the order. I want to start with land 3. So we're defending 6 plus 3, defending 9. Invaders are doing 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 damage. So that's neutral. They're not going to do any damage. And the Dahan counterattack with 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So they clear that land. And that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 fear. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I get another fear card. We're at terror level 2. And that is the end of that action. So before we do any other ravages, check the victory condition. We're at terror level 2 or higher, and there is a warding pattern in all coastal lands. So we have done it. That was pretty cool. So I was mostly able to achieve a victory without any major blunders, minus I forgot this, but I rewound it, and I'm pretty confident that I got it right. So sorry about the confusion there. There's always something, you know? But that was pretty fun. I really, really like Fractured Day Split the Sky. It was a little bit broken pairing Blur the Arc of Years with Call to Guard, but it was super fun for me, so I don't really care if it was not fair. But I do like to use Blur the Arc of Years like that. I do like to pair it with not pair it with, but I play a lot of Blur the Arc of Years and Absolute Stasis. That is a really cool card that I just didn't make use of this game, kind of surprisingly. But I always play Fractured Days Split the Sky as a Dahan-centric spirit, and it's really, really fun if you compare Fractured Days with Thunder Speaker. That is such a cool combo. I recommend that. But yeah, I still really like Spirit Island, one of my favorite games. I don't get it on the channel all that often, but I try and have it in a semi-regular rotation. So if you like Spirit Island and you want to see more of it, leave a like on this video so that I know you've still got some interest in it. And you can always hype the video, share it with somebody else who might enjoy it, or of course subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any future content. And as I said before, Fractured Days Split the Sky is by far one of my favorite spirits, just super fun to play. Unfortunately, I didn't get to see the innates very much in this playthrough, but those are really cool. So I'm glad I finally got Fractured Days onto the channel. I've been just in the back of my head thinking that I wanted to do that for like years now. And I know the difficulty wasn't super high, but I hope you like the combination of a low-level invader with a scenario. It was a little bit to try and keep track of, but I think at least with Brandenburg-Prussia, it's doable. So again, I had a great time playing. I hope you enjoyed watching. Don't forget you can head over to my Ko-fi page, ko-fi, link in the description, and make a contribution to the channel. I would greatly appreciate that. Otherwise, I will be back next week. I hope you have an awesome weekend, and I will see you then. Thank you so much for watching Table for One.